Hi, in this video we'll talk about a new way to structure data through the use of arrays. Imagine you've been tasked to keep track of all your test scores in a program. This is easy if you have only a few tests in the year. But what if you have 15 tests throughout the year? This suddenly makes things a lot harder because you need to keep track of 15 different variables in your program. What if there was a way to store all of these scores in one place, so we'd need only one variable named test scores? Introducing arrays. An array is an object that can store many values of the same type in a single variable. It's important to note that arrays store a fixed number of elements of the same type, and once an array has been created, the type and length cannot change. Let's now group all of the 15 test scores into one array. Much easier. Now you only need one variable named test scores to hold all the 15 test scores. Arrays can hold any variety of items, primitive values, or object references. For example, a list of items to get at the grocery store, or things on a to-do list, or a record of daily temperatures, or a collection of an athlete's race times, or even a group of graphic circle variables. To recap, to answer the question, what is an array? Array is just a list holding multiple values of the same data type. Let's take a closer look at the syntax. Let's now break down the array syntax. Similar to basic variables, arrays have a data type. The only difference is that this data type is followed by square brackets. Next, arrays have a variable name. To designate what's in the array, you have open and closed curly braces, which surround any number of and type of items like strings, numbers, graphics, etc., as long as they are all the same type in a given array. These items are then separated by commas. Looking at these examples from earlier, do you see the syntax pattern here? Type, name, and then an initial list of values enclosed in curly braces. It's also worth noting that you can create a new array filled with default values as well. It looks something like this, where the only difference is how you initialize the values on the right with the new keyword. In this case, you are creating an array with n default values in it. This is particularly important whenever you use an array as an instance variable in a class, as you will see later. Each data type has a specific default value, as shown in this table. So for example, this array creation would result in an array of 5 zeros. Or creating a default array with strings, since they are objects, will give you an array of 5 null values. Now why would you do this? A few of the reasons could include: they provide a structure that can be filled out later, like when you need to initialize one in a constructor; they ensure each element in the array has a known starting value; and they help maintain consistent usage and reduce the chance of some common errors. Now let's take a closer look at an array structure. Imagine you create the following score array with 5 integer values. This results in a data structure that looks like this. The array values are shown here on the bottom in the structure itself. The numbers on top are the locations of those values within the array, known as array indexes. An array index is like the address for an item in the array. Similar to strings, the first item always has an index of 0, and then each following has an increasing index value, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. We can use the index values to access the individual items in an array. Let's say we want to access the first item in the scores array. You could type scores bracket 0, where the number 0 in the brackets is the item's index. If you want to print out this first item, you could type system.out.println parentheses scores bracket 0, which would print 85. Notice that it's the value, not the index, that is printed. You can also use the same notation to change the value at a specific index. For example, let's say you want to change the test score at index 3 to a value of 86. Can you guess what you would type? In this case, you write the array name scores with the desired index 3 on the left, just like you would with any other variable. When this executes, the array's value at that location changes. Again, just remember that indexes start at a value of 0, so this test score at index 3 is actually the 4th test score listed in the array. One last thing that needs to be mentioned. Once an array is created, its length and type is fixed. This scores array will always be 5 values long. If you tried to assign a new value to index 5, you would get an array index out of bounds exception. That's because there is no location at index 5. If you want a longer array to hold more information, you need to declare it that way from the beginning. To help you work with arrays, they come with a default attribute called length, which returns the number of elements that are stored in the array, aka its length. So if you type scores.length, that will return the value of 5. Be careful though, this is the array length, not the highest index, which is 4. Take a look at this example. Can you guess what the value of each variable is here? Total scores is 5, the length of the array. Last index is 4, the length of the array minus 1, and last score is 82, the score at the last index of the array. To summarize, arrays are a data structure that store multiple values of the same type. Array declaration fixes its length and the type of data it holds. Array indexes start at 0, and trying to access an index larger than 1 less its length will result in an array index out of bounds exception. Now it's your turn to practice using arrays in your own programs.